Hey guys, Chris here. Got a few upgrades we're going to be doing to the Tuff Pumpkin. Finally got moved into the new house and the new shop. Got everything all set up here. A little bit cluttered still, but I feel much better about the way things are right now. Got a few upgrades. What we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the new suspension that I got that came in. Went out to SEMA back in the fall, met up with my guys from QA1. They were gracious enough to send me over a new set of shocks, double adjustable Promastar coilovers. So we're gonna do a little upgrade on those today. Got some pretty significant horsepower upgrades coming on the Tuff Pumpkin. She's gonna be pushing quite a bit more horsepower than it is right now. And we're gonna make sure that we get all that to the ground. Let's take a look at what we got here. So the truck's sitting pretty good right now, looking good. Running pretty good, but we're going to be pushing quite a bit more horsepower this year. I'm going to pull this motor out here in a couple weeks after we make a quick run down to Lone Star Throwdown next weekend. I wanted to have these new shocks put on before then. Here's the new setup in the shop. Pretty good little work area. I like it. Got my guys here. QA1 decided to send over some shocks after we went up and met them up in at SEMA in Las Vegas this fall. So they sent me over some shocks. These are the Promastar double adjustable coilovers. Gonna be pushing a few more ponies this year for that little fella right there. But we'll talk about that another day. What we got to do first is try and assemble these shocks. They do come separate. They come apart with the springs, separate from the shock body itself. So they come in a package, kind of like this. You have to put in the bushings up at the top, which is going to require some snap rings. No big deal. Got our snap ring pliers right here. Get those put in there. The other thing that you're really going to need for this is going to be this stuff right here. Everybody knows it's going to end up everywhere. So I'm going to be putting some gloves on here in a few minutes. Put it on. What we'll do is we'll run the lock nut down, run the lower set down, install the bushing. Make sure you put in NECs on this too. Make sure you get NECs on the threads or else it'll lock up on you. Truck right now sits good. But when we're pushing it real hard, especially in the autocross stuff, she's heavy. She's real heavy. So we're going to have to beef up the front shocks with some stiffer springs. The back springs are going to be pretty close to what they were before, but we got a little better shock quality going in here. And hopefully she'll perform good on the drag strip with the bead locks and drag radials. And then I can put it over to this setup here, be my good street and pro touring setup. And still put the power to the ground in the autocross track. That's going to be a chore for us this year, but we're really going to try that. So we'll come back here in just a second and we'll put this together. You can take a look at these and then we'll crawl up under the truck and start putting them on. All right, got a quick little update here. I've got both rear shocks built. And of course, the NECs is absolutely everywhere. I've cleaned it up as best I could for right now. Taking a little bit longer than I expected. Wanted to kind of show you guys a little bit what I'm dealing with. One of the things that's kind of been an issue for me is getting these little bushings in here. The tolerances are extremely tight. Both of them have been sitting outside in the garage. They're cold. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to heat the shock body up just a little bit, take it inside, put it next to the heater, just get it a little bit warmer. But also I'm going to take the bushing itself and I'm going to put them in the freezer. So I've got all the other ones in, but I'm having a little bit of problems with the front shocks down here on this anodized portion. The tolerances are just extremely tight. I went ahead and put a couple of them in the freezer just for a few minutes, and it seemed to work really good. They went in a lot easier. So I'm going to take these back in there, put them in the freezer. We're going to go ahead and install the rear shocks, and hopefully by that time the front ones will be cold enough and the body will be a little warmer being inside the house, and they should slide together real nice and easy. Just wanted to give you that little tip. Probably help things go together a little smoother for you. Thanks. All right, guys, here we are underneath this truck that is as dirty as it's ever been. We'll get that figured out here before the week's over with and we go down to the show. But I got the shock in here. This is just the driver's side rear. Pretty easy to get to. You just got to bolt at the top, bolt at the bottom, lifted up the truck, put it under the jack stands, and then operated the axle on the jack. Make it nice and easy to get out of. I did not do the adjustments before I put it in here, so now I'm gonna have to do it while it's under here. But the beautiful thing about this particular truck is I can get them right through here. QA1 recommends that for firm handling on the street, which is probably what I'm looking for, a little more sporty, aggressive handling. 6 to 12 on the compression side and 8 to 14 on the rebound side. So all we got to do is reach right in here. It's on 0 on all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll go maybe reach the rebound from back here, kind of tight, if I can get to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Hang on, look at that. Yeah, we need to clean this sucker. So we're going to set on the lowest of the recommended settings for the aggressive handling. Now we're going to go to the other side. We'll do that, and then we'll go to the front. All right, down here under the rear passenger side. Got this one installed pretty quick and easy, just like the other one. A couple things we didn't talk about. There's a nut right up here on the back side of the top joint. You got to make sure that if you loosened those, you need to retighten that. That's a 7/8 nut that's on there. So we've got a wrench. We'll tighten that up here. And then the other thing is that I didn't talk about was the ride height of the truck. You really need to measure that before you do this, which I did. I just forgot to mention it. And then you can set your ride height by preloading your spring here. So you'll have to back off the retainer nut here, and then use your spanner wrenches, tighten this down. If you want to tighten the spring, which will raise the truck up just a little bit, or if you need to lower it, you can pull the spring back down. Pretty sure I'm going to be riding a little bit low, so we're going to put a little bit of preload into it. It's going to compress the spring just a little bit and take the truck ride height up just a little bit. So we'll measure all that once we get it set back down on the ground and kind of push it down, kind of get these shocks to settle in. Then you may have to change them after a few miles once they settle in a little bit and the shocks kind of get put where they need to be. But just wanted to let you know about that too. Hey guys, working on the front here, and got everything put back in as far as the shock goes. Pulled my old one out here, and nothing ever goes as easy as planned. You can have all the tools and everything you need, and there's always something. Had these little bushings in here, little aluminum bushings to space out the shock mounts versus the shock, and they happen to be all of them 1/10 of an inch bigger than what I needed for these shocks. The other shocks were a little bit narrower. So had to get a flapper wheel, grind them down. Didn't take too long, but just always something. Nothing ever really goes as planned. Pulled the upper ball joint off, and also had to pull off the sway bar just to drop the lower control arms down low enough to slide the shock out easily. Nothing major, just 2 bolts there to get clearance, and then 2 bolts to pull the shock out. When I was texting a buddy of mine this morning, and I've made this trip, the drive down to Lone Star Throwdown 2 years in the past, it has poured down rain on me both times. The truck is absolutely roadworthy. Love driving it on the road. I think this year, just in the sake of not having to clean everything, being as that I'm about to pull the motor and I'm going to clean it before I go down there, that we're actually going to change the setup a little bit this year. I think I'm going to put the race wheels and tires on just to show the versatility of the truck. So we're going to go back on with the skinnies on the front, take these guys off, set them to the side for a little while, and have a little different look for everybody this year. All right, we'll come back and talk about a few things here when we get done. All right, got everything all wrapped up out here today. I did swap over the wheels and tires, like I said. Normally I drive down to Lone Star Throwdown from the DFW area, but it's rained the last couple years on me. kind of looking like it might rain next weekend. We're still 10 days out, so not really 100% sure. But I've got a trailer, kind of pressed for time, got a lot going on. Really don't want to have to clean everything again before I start yanking this motor out when we get back. So everything's done. Everything looks like it rides great. The ride heights is going to be great. Gonna go out and test it out here probably tomorrow and just take it around the block a few times, make sure everything's good, give it a quick little shakedown. Put the drag set up on it, and I have not adjusted the suspension to where it should be for drag racing, but we're not going to be doing any drag racing that I know of, and if I do, we get into something down on the street or something, we'll make a few clicks, and I've got all my tools for any other kind of adjustments that I might need to do. Be pretty straight and easy for me. If you got any questions, let me know. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward stuff. Really just swapping the shocks out, getting the adjustments and what have you squared away. Again, coming down the pipe, if you guys want, this is really the first video that I've done. I'm going to try and lace together, but if you guys want to see some more, we can start doing some more stuff here with the truck. Like I said, the next big thing that's going to happen with this thing is this motor. This is an LS3. It's got a lot of work done to it, but naturally or aspirated, it does really well. But we're going to yank this thing out of here, supercharge it. I've got the Magnuson supercharger sitting over here. This is their 2650. Largest one Magnuson's ever made. Got the Nick Williams 112 millimeter throttle body on it right here. That thing is not small at all. So she'll definitely suck in some air. I think I've pretty well got all the parts. Only other thing that I need is when I find out how many pounds of boost we're going to decide to run, figure out what size pulley, and then I can also adjust the cogs back here a little bit. The other thing that we're going to be putting on is got a hometown boy, Mark Mickey, making shifters. Stopped by one day and picked one of those up from him. They're in Jefferson City, Missouri. And other than that, we're going to pull the transmission out of it, go through it, make sure everything's fresh. We might not quite get to a 4-digit number on the horsepower ratings, but we're sure as hell going to give it a try. Everything been designed to handle that much power. Sorry, there's not a whole lot of light going on here, but had a buddy of mine make a fabricated 9-inch for me. It's got 35 spline axles in it. We're 4-linked. It's got a Mosier center section with the wave track. You guys over at QA1 decide they want to help me. We'll talk about it. Might have some more goodies. They could make some stuff look good. I don't know. We'll see. Truck is really streetable right now. Hop in it pretty much anytime and go anywhere you want. So if you want, we can do some more videos, show you some more stuff. You got any questions, hit me up. I'll be happy to help you out. Till then, we'll see you later.